Hi guys, and happy Saturday. Today is October 9th, and yes, I know it's been a while. We've gotten into the month of October, my favorite season. We're in fall, love fall. And along with that, I decided today I'm going to do a tower card using this Blackberry Beauty specialty paper. This is in the July to December mini catalog, and it's been wildly popular. I think it's been on back order twice, but now it's back in as of this recording. Okay, so I make one of these every time I get new DSP that I think I'm going to use for, more than a month or two. So polished pink, blackberry bliss, rich raspberry, early espresso, cinnamon cider, and gold accents. It's truly a beautiful cardstock. DSP, sorry. So today what we're going to make is a, different people call it different thing. Accordion tower card, pinwheel tower card, whatever you want to call it. Now this, I'm sorry, of course, is using that designer paper that was part of Celebration. But it's the one I had on hand, and since, like I said, I was gone all last week, and I've been gone for 2 weekends now. I was in Iowa celebrating my mom's 80th birthday. We had a beautiful party on Wednesday, the 29th, at a state park. We had a pavilion, we had horseshoes, we had croquet, we had, oh my gosh, cornhole, and lots of food. Never can have a party without lots of food. So sorry that I didn't get an example made with this, because then I came back to work, and work has been absolutely treacherous this week. You know, being anyone who knows, when you're off on vacation for a week, you come back to about 2 weeks worth of work because people think they've done things for you, but they really haven't. Okay, so I didn't get an example made, so we'll make it together. But forgive me for using this now retired DSP paper because it was part of the celebration. But that's what it looks like. Okay, so let's get started. For the base, you're going to use a 4 1/4 by 4 1/2 DSP. Now for the base, I'm calling that the tower part. It's really not your base. These are like all your panels, but I'm calling this the base, so it's the tower part. Works better if you use the DSP versus cardstock. It seems to lay a little flatter in the envelope. So I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to use for the tower. Usually it's one I think I'm not going to use too much, on its own. So I always use owls and birds because my mom loves owls. Maybe I'll use this for the base because that's a little busier than I'm used to. Yeah, I'm going to use this one for my base. And that is going to be 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. So let me bring out my cutter from the side here. And we're going to go 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. So let's go 4 1/4. Cutting by 4 1/2. And then you're going to take that cutting tool away. So you just have your score, and you're going to score at 4, 3, oops, 2, and 1. Make sure that's at the 1. So when you do that, let me get out my bone folder. You're going to burnish all the edges. I don't really burnish them on both ways, fold it back and forth like I do with cardstock, because I'm always afraid of ripping through the DSP. Now our DSP, you rarely would ever do that because it is good quality DSP. Some of those on the market out there aren't as great, and you may do it. Little liquid glue to that, on that, what's left over, that 1/2 inch. And then just press it down and hold it for a second. And there you have that middle part. Okay. Oh, and I'm sorry if I forgot to tell you, that leaves your 4 1/4, which is, your standard card size. Sorry. So yeah, when you're folding, when you're scoring on that 4 1/2 side, not the 4 1/4 side. All right, we're going to set that aside for now. Going to bring out, of those colors we're talking about, I'm making this card for my mom, and even though she's okay with the browns and the gold, I'm going to do these for my bases. I'm going to try to figure out what combination I have, or what combination I'm going to use. On my example, I had the same panel for all of them, but for this, I think I'm going to try it a little bit differently. So your 4 panels are going to be 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So what I do first is I do that 4 1/4, because of course that will leave, you know, a landscape fold for later, a book fold, whatever you want to do. So there's the 4 1/4, and then I'm going to cut out 2 of each color, just so I can mix and choose while I'm there. So that's the 4 1/4 side, and then we're going to cut 2 of these at the 2 3/4. Now, like I said, you're only going to use 4 of them. I'm going to end up cutting out 6, but only because I'm not sure which colors I want to use together. That's going to be kind of a decision once I get on there. Let me put that back there. Let's get the rich razzleberry. Cut in 4 1/4. This will be for a later book fold card. And then we're going to go 2 3/4 and 2 3/4. So I have that variety. You know what, maybe I'll just do those. Maybe I won't introduce the polished pink, because even though polished pink is one of the colors on there, to me, the only one where it really shows up a lot is on this designer paper, this side, and then on the back sides. But I'm going to be using the foil because no one wants to waste the foil, right? So maybe I won't do polished pink. I'm just going to do these 2 colors, and that'll be my 4 panels. Okay. Now, you're also going to have some DSP panels. Now, for making different cards and all that, I just happen to have strips of these that are left in the 2 1/2 mark. And guess what? Your DSP panels, you want 4 total panels that are 2 1/2 by 4. So let's go. So this is my 2 1/2 already strips I've had. So now I'm going to cut at 4. Make sure together. And our cutter, if you're lined up, it will cut 2 at a time without, you know, making any score type marks or whatever. And I could do this again at 4, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use that. So I'm going to come over here and do one of these at 4. And then this beautiful paper, I'm going to cut, I'm going to see where the 4 hits. So see, that's going to cut off some of that pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go right above that, cut there, and then come back and go to my 4 mark. That way I get the majority of that pretty card. I'm sorry, pretty design on there. And these scraps, of course, can be used for later. So now I have 4 panels, all that are that, again, 4 by 2 1/2. All right, so now we're going to start putting things together. You also need a strip 4 of the 1 1/2 by 4s. We'll get to that in a bit, though. That's where these extra little pieces that I've just cut from can come in. But first, let's lay these out. On these, I would recommend either using your multi-purpose glue or the Stampin' Seal Plus or the tear and tape, because the card's going to move a lot as you move around. So it, to me, ends up being the best choice. Not saying your Stampin' Seal won't work out great, but I just prefer to use either the Stampin' Seal, the tear and tape, or the multi-purpose glues for these. So I'm just putting a little on the back. You don't have to use a lot. It sticks really well. All right. And I hope that I did a different ratio on my camera. So I'm hoping that when I actually upload this to YouTube, that it doesn't come out all skewed or blurred, not blurred. Okay, so there's our 4 panels. Press them down. Oh, my husband just got back from the post office. I'm hoping he doesn't come in and say something to me, because he always has to tell me what goes on at the post office. Anyway, so I'm going to put these every other, just to kind of keep them in line for what I'm doing here. Now what you're going to do here, this is your tower. This is what we're calling our base, because these are our panels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue on the left. I might have to get a new one soon. Glue on the left side of this, because when you push it down, it's going to kind of come out a little bit. And you're going to go right up to that edge. And that's why we're here. The glue works really good, because you can manipulate it for a little bit. And I was lining that up so a lot of the tower doesn't show. With the foiling, it doesn't matter as much, but if you had a more, let's say, oh, I keep moving it. If you have a more solid DSP, some people don't like seeing that little edge. All right, so we push that down. We're going to come here, go to the next one. Again, put that glue on the left side of that. Going to cover it up to make sure I don't see any of that towel under there. Hold it tight for a few seconds. And now go to the next one, left side of that panel. Yep. The husband and the dog came back from the post office. Welcome to my life. I should have done this when I was up this morning at 7 before I did my grocery store run and my clothes being folded and all that good stuff. I should have done this while they were not around. Now this is the last panel here. So you just want to make sure you get it over there on the left side. And put that last one on. And hold it for a second. All right, so now you have this. And it is going to fit into an envelope just perfectly. Because if you can see, I don't have an envelope here. Let me find another card that I've done. Or here's a card front that I had done. You can see that it's the exact same size as a regular card, so it's going to fit into your envelope really good. All right, so let's set that aside for a second, because now we're going to come back with those same ones, and we need 4 strips of 4" by 1.5. So these are, wait, is it 4" Let me think. No, 4 1/4. Sorry, 4 1/4 by 1.5. So on here, I don't want to go, gold on gold. So I'm going to use the opposite sides on these. And you know what? I am going to, just so they don't go all the way up, I am going to do them at 4. So they kind of mimic that. So we're going to cut some of these off at 4. I'm going to do 2 at a time. So we're going to make these 4. And 1.5. All right, still more scraps for later. All right, and then here's 4. You know what? I'm going to do the 1.5 first, so I have a longer strip. So let's do that. 1.5, and then 4. So how many did that leave me? So that gives me 3 of those. And then I'm going to go ahead and maybe on this is where I will put, because I don't know if I really want that. Here's where I'm going to take a scrap of, let me go over to my cardstock over here. Let me find, I think I'm going to do a scrap of this crumb cake. Even though it says, you know, cinnamon cider, I want my panel to be kind of out there. So let me, sorry, not really I want it to be contrasting, not really blending in. So yeah, I think I'm going to do this. So let me go ahead and do 4 by 1.5. All right, let me set this down. So now these are for these inside pieces here. So what I'm going to do is, I think against this, I want to have just a plain. That way it's not so busy and it kind of blends in. So let's go ahead and do that. Hold it for a sec. Open this one. Let's see. I think I want to do this one here. And this is all personal choice. This one, I don't think I want to do busy with busy. This one's a little less busy coming up, so I think I'll leave it like that. Oops. Hold it for a second so it doesn't slide again. And my last one. All right, so now on this card, you can either use this to write something or have a vertical greeting, or you could even stamp a greeting like that because it's not going to be that big of a deal. If you want to make, though, another like greeting across, you want to make sure that whatever you cut does not go past this edge. So let me show you what I mean. Let me grab one of my punches. Let me grab a punch here. So if you're going to mount this, you're going to mount it like this. You're not going to go over that edge. So you're going to mount it like this, or you can go in the middle. If you have a longer banner like this, you would go ahead, let me make it a little bit bigger, like this, you would go ahead and make sure it doesn't go past that edge. But then when you open it up, it's going to be fine. All right, I'm going to go ahead and decorate this up with some ribbon and some greetings and maybe a die cut or two. And then I'm going to go ahead and post that as the picture for the beginning of this video. All right, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. I may get on tomorrow, not sure yet, but I hope you all had a great start to your October and have a safe weekend. Bye-bye.